This episode of the Date Podcast is sponsored by Bopsy. Meet up to 6 people over mobile video. It's video speed dating. Download Bopsy in the Google Play Store or iTunes. Check out bopsy.com.
We know you love us, but the information on our podcast is provided for educational and entertainment purposes only. I understand I'm both an LPC and an LMFT. However, this is not intended as a substitute for professional services of any kind. If you or anyone you know needs professional help, please seek mental health services.
Hey everybody, it's Zorric.
And Emma.
Hosts of the Day's Podcast, and we're so excited to do another show for you all today.
Ooh.
And we have a special guest. His name is Cale O'Bryan.
Oh.
Do you know a little bit about him, Emma?
Yes. He was on a show.
A show.
A show
called
Love at First Flight. I read that wrong, you guys.
Hey Cale, how's it going?
Hey Zorric, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And so we'll talk to Cale, and we'll also talk about things or signs that where you can tell that the date's going well.
Yes.
Like for example, I'm still alive after the date. It's going well.
Yeah,
No.
or it's like I'm still alive after the date. You know,
Or-
like I'm still alive.
Yes. Or she didn't turn around when she said, saw me and
So I was just watching The Office. I love The Office, so I can binge watch on it.
uh-huh.
It was the episode where Michael asked for the people in the office to set him up, and Pam set him up with her apartment lease person, and it's a blind date, and he's wearing a blue flower or a red flower or whatever, and he pretends to not know her because apparently to him she wasn't pretty enough.
Oh.
But it's just so awkward because then he does say for the day. I love The Office so much. Okay.
It is a good show.
Anything is relatable. Everything is relatable.
Emma, where can everyone find us?
Oh, right. You can find us on iTunes and Google Play or any other place where you get podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
If this is your first time listening, go ahead and hit that subscribe button at the top. And also leave us a review that's wonderfully written saying how amazing you think Zorric and I are, or me.
And Cale,
And
obviously.
How funny y'all think I am.
And Cale, obviously.
Okay, write how funny you think I am. Kind of talk about Zorric, but really mention me.
Okay.
And or you can leave us an email at hello@datepodcast.com, which a few of you have been doing. So
Yes.
thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
that. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at Date Podcast.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so I have fun stuff today.
Okay, what is it? Cale, I love my toys, so.
I love the bumpers. I think this is fun.
Yeah.
I love the intro. I love that you guys have such good team dynamic here. This is really, it's like watching art in motion right now.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, so mother of pearl, I haven't even
Go
said anything yet. Really?
ahead. Emma, you're so uptight tonight. Come on.
Wine. Where's my wine?
We got some right here.
There's more with that.
Plenty of wine.
Okay, thank you, Cale. So I'm on this website called nextgot.com, and it's counting the days until the next Game of Thrones episode.
Oh, Cale, are you a Game of Thrones fan?
Are you a throny?
Oh, you guys.
Oh, no, you're about to get kicked out of this room. Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so I've seen the first 3 episodes of season 1. And all of my diehard Game of Thrones fans say, don't even worry about it. Anyone in season 1 doesn't even matter anymore. They're all gone. Except
Shame.
Oh.
for shame.
They are kind of right. They are right.
Yeah. But I mean, I can kind of pick up on some contemporary stuff. I know about the Red Wedding and I don't know, Jon Snow coming back to life. Sorry, spoiler alert for anybody.
You should have said that at the beginning.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know. There's just something about that show that I'm not invested, and I just can't do it. And I've tried, and it's not for me yet. Maybe it will be eventually when I have more time to sit down and really sort of binge it. But the first couple of episodes, I was like, "This is weird. Isn't that her sister?"
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
That is
I
weird.
host Game of Thrones parties.
Yeah.
So.
Oh. I actually am going to be on a Team Westeros for a Beer Olympics competition in September.
Oh, okay.
So
So
we'll
there
All
you
right,
go.
that is
represent-
acceptable.
Yeah, so I'm
Represent.
in the know. Yeah, so I'm going to be, decked out in like a crown and a
Yeah.
sword. So I know what's going on, kind of, and I'm going
Uh-huh.
to try to like read some more on Wikipedia or something. That's my source for sure.
Oh my
But
gosh,
I just- I
I'm
can't.
getting a headache right now just listening to Cale talk.
So how do you feel about what Cale just said?
Cale and I just can't be friends anymore. Like I
have
need
really close
distance.
friends that are diehard Game of Thrones fans.
Yes.
Diehard.
I'm telling you, like my sister and I host parties. There's a group of friends that like we host an evening or every a Sunday, and then we even made like shirts. We have like goblets. Like we've gone all out.
So, Cale, we talk about love languages a lot.
Yeah.
I can't even talk because I've been drinking too much. But, the one for Emma is Game of Thrones. That's her love language.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a category.
I don't know what's gonna happen when it's like all over because the next season's the last season.
But they're doing spin-offs though. Oh, okay.
Are they?
I don't know how I feel about that yet.
Like
yeah,
prequel
I don't
spin-offs,
know.
right?
Yeah, like I don't know how I feel. Part of me is kind of like let the good thing go. Like this is a good thing that you have. Like why are you trying to milk it for more? Like stop it, right? And then I also kind of get their point of view because this is our cash cow, so they want more out of it. However, I don't know. TBD.
So when is the countdown? Like when?
So the countdown right now is 226 days. That's less than a year now.
Oh my gosh.
We're
Is it
like-
the last one?
This is the last season, yeah.
Oh, terrible.
I know. 23 hours and 20 minutes. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
That's terrible. Cale hasn't heard that one yet.
Ooh, that is a new one.
That's a new one.
Was that like a wolf or whatever?
Well, that's what we signify. That could be, what's that family with the wolves? The Snow Family. That's the Snow Family song or jingle. Anyways.
You mean the Starks?
The Starks, okay.
With the dire wolves?
The
Yes,
dire
with
wolves.
the dire
yes.
Okay.
wolves, yeah.
Get it together. What is your house, by the way? Zorric, what's your
I
house?
don't know. I feel like I'm a Lannister.
I am a Lannister. And I wear it with pride.
Can I be is it Targaryen? Is that the
Yeah.
is that a house?
It is a house.
Are you judging me a little bit if I pick that house?
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like you have to be one of the lesser houses just because you don't follow Game of Thrones.
Oh, is that too high up there?
Yeah. That's
God.
royalty. Like, no, you can't be a part of royalty.
Well, I did do
As
Harry
I
Potter.
flip my hair.
Are you a Harry Potter
Oh,
person?
she is.
What's your
Hardcore.
Harry Potter house?
I am Gryffindor for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess what mine is? Just based on what my...
Hufflepuff.
No.
Slytherin.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because your love language is all about receiving gifts.
Does that relate?
No, it doesn't. Oh my gosh. I need a button for Cale now and Zorric. I can't. You know what? I don't like this right now.
This
Is
is
this
really fun. I'm
how you
having a
feel
great
every
time.
other week? Is this like when people gang up on you? Is this what you feel like, Zorric?
This is what's happening.
Oh my gosh. I can't handle it. My anxiety is through the roof right now, y'all.
Oh my gosh. I see that. Oh my gosh. Okay.
We're good.
Are you done? Are you done with the whole Game of Thrones
Yeah.
soapbox thing?
Please don't play my sound.
You know what's gonna happen.
I hate you so much.
Okay.
I'm just really excited for Game of Thrones. I miss Jon Snow. I miss the Dinkles.
Dinkles.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage.
Oh, okay. The short.
You know, yeah. Little baby Lannister. I miss him.
Yeah. He's on the Avengers. Have you seen the Avengers, Cale?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like the one that was one of those. It was in the planet that didn't have any power.
Oh, he was a tall dwarf.
Yeah.
He was also in X-Men too. So.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Days
He
of
was
Future
in
Past,
X-Men,
yeah.
but he wasn't in X-Men.
Oh right, of
Yeah.
course.
He was a
the
politician.
bad guy. He was.
Get it together.
He was Trask.
Yeah. He was.
We're gonna go into nerd territory. Is this about dating or is this about comic book culture? Because I could do both.
Seems like it. Okay. Okay. Speaking of that,
Yep.
Cale.
Yes.
So you're on a show called Love at First Flight. But first of all, where are you from?
Well,
Not
Zorric.
from Texas, apparently.
I am originally from Evansville, Indiana. It's the third largest city in the state of Indiana behind Indianapolis and Fort Wayne. Very Midwestern American, very suburban. Kind of really close to Illinois and Kentucky. And so if Indiana's in the shape of a boot, I always say it's in like the toe of the boot. And that's where I'm from.
Toe. He likes toes.
Ew, Zorric.
Probably not.
Well, you know how like people from Michigan, like they show you the hand, they're like,
Yes.
this is the mitten, this is where I'm from. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm from Indiana and I'm in the toe of the boot.
This is so bad because I don't even didn't know that Indiana looked like a boot. I thought it was like a square.
She knows Game of Thrones, but she doesn't know her geography.
No, I know what Texas looks like
Of course you do. Because you live here.
because that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Texas forever, y'all.
That's
Yeah.
all right. Between the two of us, we'd make a great, or maybe the three of us, maybe we'd make a great trivia team, you know, if you do Game of
Actually,
Thrones.
I'm like really smart, you guys. Like, you don't even know how smart I am.
I know you're smart. You're a therapist.
Yeah.
I need you to be smart.
No, like, I'm like really smart. Like, I have a lot of useless knowledge for trivia. Like, I'm really amazing at trivia.
Okay.
Like, y'all mock me, jerks.
We're going to set this up.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you to the test because I love trivia too.
So Indiana,
Yes.
at the toe of the boot.
That's right.
How was your dating when you were in high school? Were you quite the ladies' man?
Actually, I was more focused on grades and sports. I was kind of sort of a late bloomer when it came to dating.
Introvert?
Not really. Just kind of like laser focused on what I was doing at the time. Just
What
because.
sports do y'all play in Indiana?
This is not a different country, Emma.
No.
Is it?
I did cross country, track, swimming, and like there was just year round. You go
Is
to
it
school.
flat in Indiana? No, I'm joking. All right, sorry.
For the most part, yeah. For the most part, it was just go to school and go to practice, do your homework, go to sleep, and it was just kind of like that routine for a while.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was kind of like what I did in high school. I mean, I went to dances and I always had dates for those. And as far as like an exclusive, like I was with this person, not really. No. Not in high school. I was very sheltered, I think.
When did that happen? When did you have your first girlfriend? Like when did that? College, I guess.
Probably college. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I think in middle school, we always had like they're with this person, they're with that person.
Oh,
But was it
yes.
really dating though? Like,
No.
I mean, you went to the movies and like your
Yeah.
parents picked you up and dropped you off, but that was the extent of it.
That's
but, like,
socializing.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I don't count any of that. Anything that happened in middle school is not a real relationship. I don't
No.
think.
Yeah. So did you have like a crush in school? You know how we all have crushes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I got to date Miss Teen Indiana
Oh
2006.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Are you serious? This
Zorric's about to Google this later.
I know. And I thought that I was just a rock star, and we went to prom in a limo, and I was like, this is the best ever. But she was totally more there for just being friends and, wearing the pretty dress and all that. And that was fine for me. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be a good date and put on a good show, and I'll go down and say, I had like one of the most attractive dates for prom.
Nice.
People just heard that, or they're going to hear this. And,
Yes.
now they know
Yeah.
that Cale did.
We're going to Google
Yeah.
it later, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was prom king. So.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh, you get another applause. Oh my gosh. Jeez, Cale.
I know.
You
I
seem to me.
think you're making Zorric a little jealous, and
I
I'm
know,
kind of
like,
like loving every minute of it.
I know.
I
After
had a
being mean to
great
me.
high school senior prom. It was really
Nice.
fun.
If
Yeah.
you write a book, Cale, I will read it. I'll be the first one to.
Oh, would you?
Yeah. Tell me all your stories.
Okay, great. I'll make a note of that. Memoirs of Cale, reality television one-hit wonder.
So you went to high school in Indiana, and then you went to college in Indiana too.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Born and raised Indiana, and then educated in Indiana as well. I went to Indiana University for undergraduate school and for law school as well. So I was there for 7 years straight through.
Wow.
Was like National Lampoon's Van Wilder. It felt like it's like a 7th year senior towards the end of it.
You're the guy with the beard, like throwing all the parties, like the elder statesman.
When I did get to law school, it felt like I was the old guy, kind of like showing all the new crop of kids, like, here's where we go, this is what we do, and here's where we hang out. And it was really fun. And I had a great time getting education. But by the time it was all said and done, I was like, I need to spread my wings and fly a little bit. I got to get out.
I think my friend went there actually too.
Oh, really?
She's from Indiana.
Oh.
Don't they have like just one university? I'm joking.
There's also Notre Dame, Purdue.
Of course.
Oh, that's in Indiana?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like New England.
Well, Notre Dame's in South Bend, so it's like, it's still Indiana, but like it's like a suburb of Chicago, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're like saying words at me, and I can't understand right now.
Drink some more. So okay, you were a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Meaning that you dated later on in life.
I did.
Which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's some misconception about that just naturally comes like, ooh, like let me think of the words that I want to say real quick. I think it's like reflecting back, like it's kind of good that like the peak was in high school, you know, because there's just so much more life to live, and and so I think that a lot of like when we're in high school, it's kind of like this is the best thing ever. We're not realizing that there's like life after high school.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Cale? Do you because I mean I think that's good too because you focus on your schooling. I just didn't want to like study. I just wanted to like play. Which I don't know if that helped or hurt me, but you know, like what are your thoughts on that? Like for people?
Well, everyone grows up differently and everyone matures differently. So everyone has different experiences, different times in their life. So mine were just, I had goals in high school and I wanted to, you know, set out to achieve them. And I feel like I did. I feel like I had a great high school experience. And, you know, when I got to college, I felt like I earned it, had scholarships and a lot more free time. And it was just a good experience for me overall. I look back at high school and, you know, sometimes I'm like, well, you know, I probably should have, you know, been a little more focused on maybe my future or, you know, setting more of a grounded relationship. But at the same time, I had like my sights set on going bigger places and like making sure that like I could do it myself. Like I am going to get this education and I'm going to be hitting my goals. And I don't know if being with someone would, you know, sort of tie me down, or would that help me propel myself to get to those goals?
So. Yeah, and that's why I mentioned, I asked you if you're extroverted or introverted, because...
You can be an ambivert.
Ambivert, too, because I was reading this book called Barking Up the Wrong Tree. Have you read that book?
No.
It talks about how introverts are super focused on something and they become experts in something. And I feel like that's what you...
I think that's a little bit like mean, because I think that extroverts can also have a drive.
I'm an extrovert too. I'm not putting all of us down, but I'm saying introverts like usually become like very like skilled in something, whether it's being an attorney or something like that. But yeah, okay.
Well, I also think that extroverts have skills that they've sort of developed and honed in on their craft, and maybe introverts come into their own in different ways, and maybe they learn to be extroverts later in life or whatnot.
But you can be an introvert and learn how to extrovert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Extroverts are more dishonest and are more likely to cheat on their mate.
I disagree.
Have you heard of that?
No.
That's a
I know. I feel like I call myself out all the time. No, I think that's a bad judgment on extroverts.
I'm gonna put that.
No, because like I've said all the time, like I don't care like about the label that you have. Like any person has an equal chance of like doing something. So like don't classify them. I feel like an introvert can cheat as much as an extrovert.
Maybe it's like a general. I'm going to show you the study.
All right, show me that study. Is it peer reviewed?
Yes, by me.
You don't count.
And Peter Dinklage.
He counts.
Yeah.
He does count.
So college, how was college life for you?
College was very enlightening. So I went to a big school and had a lot of great friends. I majored in psychology, but but I mean, really though, I spent most of my time in the Greek life. I was president of my fraternity.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Everything.
All the things.
The things.
But like,
is that something that you kind of like still do now? Like, are you very much involved in your fraternity?
Well. In some ways, yes. So this past weekend, I actually did a weekend trip to Daytona Beach with some of the guys that I got a scholarship to go to Greece with through my fraternity. Not my actual chapter at Indiana, but like we all got the scholarship from across the country. We went when we were 21 years old to go to Greece for about 2 weeks, and we all still keep in touch.
Nice.
And we're in a fantasy football league right now, and we do our live draft together. And we just go somewhere different every year. And
wait, football hasn't started though, right?
Almost.
Well, it's preseason right now.
Okay.
It's typically starts after Labor Day or so.
Yeah, pretty soon.
But it's just great catching up with those guys. They're all great guys, and we all have something to bond over with. So
cool.
Nice. Yeah. So after college, what happened? Did you go somewhere else? Did you move somewhere else? Did you work at other places?
Well, after I went to law school, I got my first job in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh,
that was I lived there for about a year and a half, and it was not right for me at all. I got my experience, and I don't know. There was just something about Omaha that wasn't a good fit for me, and it's very Midwestern American as well, but it's also very family focused. If you want to raise a family and settle down, and I was 25 at the time, and I'm looking to spread my wings and fly. Right. I'm like, I want to see how far I can go and what I can do. And the job I had, I was eventually able to transfer to the Dallas litigation office, which brought me down here in 2015. So I've been in Dallas since then, so about 3.5 years now.
Nice. So I guess...
And Texas is not your favorite place, right?
I love Texas. So...
How dare you?
What?
Yeah, because I had such a bad experience in Omaha.
Is it a leading question?
I really, really wanted to make Dallas my home, and I've fallen in love with it. I've got a great network here. There's lots of transplants coming in all the time, and they're all... looking to establish themselves and establish their new networks. And it's just fun. I love this city. I think it's great.
Yeah. So,
bam.
So so I guess let's talk about the show. So how did that happen? Like, how did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you?
Okay.
Oh, no. Do you need to have a little drink of wine?
I need to have another glass of wine.
All right, drink your wine. Take a little sip.
There's a lot going on in this story about how it all happened.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So
Zorric's listening intently because he wants to learn for the future.
I do.
At the time, it was January 2017. Okay, I'm in the process of sort of applying for new jobs just because I've done this job for a while now, and I'm kind of looking for something else. Still in Dallas, but just anything to kind of like give me a reason to leave the job that I had, just because I had done it for a few years and I was just looking. So I see something online on Twitter actually that was just like, hey, travel to the world with the love of your life, click here. And I was like, sure. So I'm, and also like, I'm thinking January 2017, this is following, the 2016 election, a big reality TV star is just to become president. So like, I mean, in this world, in this day and age, I'm just thinking like there's nothing to hold you back. Like you can just do anything. Yeah. Like what's going to be the repercussions? What's the worst can happen? So I'm just thinking this sounds great. Like, and it's super easy to do. It was just a link on the internet. You just fill out your name and just like some general information and just like upload a photo. And that was it. It took like all of 5 minutes to just fill out a form online, and then it was off and done. And then I went back to just like applying to regular jobs and whatnot. The next day I get an email that was like, hey, on paper, you look okay. So how about you fill out this long form application? And it's like a doozy. There's like extensive essays, and they expect you to write 500 words each on every single question. And turns out by the time like it's all said and done, you've got like a 50-page application. And
oh my god! Like what kind of questions did they ask you?
Like, why didn't your last relationship work out? Or like last time you cried, or things that you're afraid to do, or I don't know. And it's just kind of getting like a base of kind of like who you are as a character and what you could bring to a TV show, I guess. And you're just kind of like pouring at least I was pouring my heart and soul into these essays. And after I submitted that, I just get a phone call the next day that was like, we want to set up a Skype interview. And I'm like, okay, why not? Because I'm still just, going with the flow right now as I'm looking for jobs. Do a Skype interview, and that goes well too. And, they're kind of asking me some personal questions here or there. And
is it like relationship questions or like
a little bit about who you are and what you're doing and what you believe and stuff. And they're also recording the Skype interview as well. So like they're trying to get a few characters that they can kind of pitch to a network and try to see if they can get this show off the ground. And I think that I was one of those people that they were pitching from the get-go. And I have some interesting stories that I threw in there. But after that happened, they were like, okay, you should hear from us like at some point soon. And then I don't hear from them at some point soon. And I eventually get another job. I start a new job in February of that year.
Okay.
And then I think the next time I hear from them, I want to say is April of 2017.
Okay.
And then in April, they're like, hey, congratulations, you're still in the running for this. You made casting finals. And I'm like, this is still a thing? Like, where were you guys 3 months ago? You know, there's no way I can do that right now. I've got a new job and I've got, you know, all these other responsibilities. Like this is so, there's just no way I'm going to like plan my life around the possibility of being on a reality TV show. Cause I've got things I'm doing. But then I was like, okay, what the heck? You know, it's just once in a lifetime opportunity. Let's hear them out. So I go to casting finals. I think that's in May of 2017. And, you know, that's a process in itself. I want to say it's about 4 days or so. And it's a pretty intense process. I don't think I'm allowed to reveal what goes on there, but you're just meeting with a lot of people. In particular, the matchmaker was one of the people you're meeting with.
It's just the same typical questions, right? They're trying to get a deeper
and then
dive.
you're like doing some tests, some tests on paper.
Like psychological tests? Okay, that's cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, lots of interesting tests. And they put us all in a room, and I want to say that there were like 20 guys at casting final, and they all kind of had that sort of like generic look of like you're a single white guy, you know? And then you're like constantly thinking like, how did I get in this? Oh, okay, yeah, I fit that mold, and I look like a lot of these people. So you're
basic?
Here. Yeah, I was pretty basic. I'm super vanilla in this thing, so I'm thinking to myself, do I want to do this? And if I do, how am I going to make myself stand out?
Yeah.
And, you know, you kind of have to be a little animated for this stuff. And I was, you know, I just kind of gave them what they wanted, and they were like, okay, great. You know, well, you should hear from us like in the next week or two.
Okay.
And then that was May.
I
don't hear from them again until I want to say July.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'd already thought that this is all said and done. And then they're like, congratulations, you made the final cast. And I'm like, I can't believe this is still a thing. You know, I started this job, and what am I going to do?
Wow.
Because
I'm going to bring it back to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He got the call back when Game of Thrones ended. In 2017.
Circle back. That was good.
Emma's still steaming from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, so so they call you, or how do they? Does someone kind of show up to your house like the sweepstakes? Remember that commercial? Like, oh, you've won, and you can no.
It was a very exciting phone call. They like try to pump you up and say, hey, great, you made the cast. Are you happy about it? And I was like, I thought this was over like 3 months ago. Like, you guys told me I would know by like a week or two, and I definitely have moved on again with my life, and now you're bringing me back into this.
Wait, before you keep going, so were you dating somebody like during this whole thing?
I wasn't going to put my life on hold, and that was the thing that I told myself. I'm like, I'm not going to hold out for this idea of just being on a TV show. I wouldn't say that I was dating someone exclusively, but yeah, there were people
you
that
were
were
dating.
Like, a little bit.
How do you break the news? This
was really bad.
Oh no!
It was a text
were
message.
you horrible
at
it?
Okay, so I will say that like it wasn't a surprise. It should never have been a surprise. Like I started, you know, dating a girl, and I told her from straight up, I'm like, there's a potential that I'm gonna be in a show, so you know, like, this can't be like a serious exclusive thing. You know, so, and it wasn't. It never was. We never DTR'd or anything like that.
Okay.
It was just, you know, hanging out, having a good time.
Okay.
And it wasn't like a serious exclusive relationship. It was never about that. So, but it does, the timeline gets a little murky, and my friends give me a little bit of hell for this, you know? So, and I'm just like, I can't believe I'm talking about this on a podcast.
Yes.
It's
but
it
was over and done, I would say probably by June-ish, and we didn't film the show until October. So there was plenty of time to, like, you know,
I let you off the hook.
But
I know.
But how do you let somebody down? I mean, well, not let somebody down, but how do you give the talk? We like, gosh, it's rough.
It was rough. It was very rough.
Because there's emotions, right, Emma?
It was.
Like,
yes, it is.
There were tears. It was frustrating, and you know, I definitely felt like an asshole at the time. I was like, I don't know. Like, this might go somewhere. I don't know what's going to come from this, and at the same time too, she was a lot younger than I was, so it shouldn't have been too serious. But I mean, it definitely had some issues.
Yeah, can I ask how old you are?
At the time, or right now?
Right now. So
right now, I'm 30. I turned 30 on the TV show. Yeah.
Oh.
Did you watch the Vegas episode? That's when I turned 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
welcome to this century.
Yeah.
So you're a millennial as well.
Yeah,
I am.
So wow. So okay. So you had to go ahead.
So I want to know like how the matchmaker decided who to match you with.
I'm still trying to figure out like how he. I'm just kidding. Okay, we can go with that one.
Let's go with my route instead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to know how like that process, if you know anything about it.
Well, I will tell you
because I have my feelings about her.
I think everyone in America does. Right?
The matchmaker or Jenna, your match.
Her.
Oh, her.
I will say that I had a very good experience with the matchmaker. I thought that this matchmaker knew who I was front and back. We were only supposed to meet with them for about a half hour, so I took like an hour and 15 minutes just talking to this matchmaker.
Or maybe that's what they wanted you to think.
Yeah. Well, no, there was like actual like you go at this time, like they'd let you out of your hotel room and like they bring you down, and like after I left the meeting with the matchmaker, there was like a line of 3 people behind me, and like people were
Where
mad.
did this happen? Was it like New York or LA?
LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we just had a really good connection. Like it just felt like she got me. She totally understood what I was looking for.
Maybe she was trying to sabotage this so that she could get with you later.
I think she was married.
Okay. Oh, okay, never mind.
But it just felt like it was natural and fluid, and it was fun. And she was like, "Don't worry, I know what you're looking for. I'm gonna find a girl for you."
Wait a second. Who is this matchmaker? Because
he needs to tell us off air. He can't tell us on air.
No, I think that. Well,
is she like a celebrity matchmaker?
No. She was just she had a psychology background, and I think that she was a professor at a school, and.
Yeah, but it's hard. I mean, even though like people, we talk about this all the time. Like people can have like the right, they can have the right things on paper, but then when you actually meet, there's other things.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about this friend. I know you're listening, and I'm telling you to listen to this episode, obviously. So I'm gonna have to use a lot of like clue words, very big words. So you know our friend, that's not really our friend, that's just recently engaged. Okay. So she got with her boyfriend because our other friend, who you've met, set them up because she on paper she thought that they would be a very good match, and when they actually got together, like in our point of view, it's been a disaster. Yeah.
So you never know. That's. I wonder how many successes she's had in like. There's probably more.
I would like to know. Yeah, I would like to know her statistics as well.
Yeah. So so the match.
Because matchmaking is a dangerous game. Right. I've matchmaked people before, and my longest relationship, they were married for like 10 years, and then they got divorced. So there's my streak.
That's pretty good though.
Thank you.
Okay, so the matchmaker. What else can you talk? What else can you say about the match? So. Basically, they get your story. They get everything about you. And then she finds, I guess, on the other side, she's talking to women. And she matches you guys. And do you see each other? Because I remember the episode in New York, the first episode in New York, right? So you have not met Jenna yet.
No.
Oh my gosh, is that the one where they're at that little cafe and she's already like?
That was with the what was that food that you guys were trying different?
Yes, we first met in Times Square.
Yeah, but wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So as you're walking towards her.
Oh, she's walking towards me. I'm sitting.
That's right. Yeah. How do you feel? Like are you nervous?
Are you like excited? Are you happy? Or you're like, thank you, matchmaker.
Sure.
Woohoo.
Well, okay, so that day, everyone in production and whatnot is hyping you up like, this is the day, this is your big moment. So we've already filmed a number of things like, I'm gonna get in my taxi now and possibly meet the love of my life, and they're asking you questions, and there's definitely a lot of energy and a lot of nervous jitters. So that's how I'm feeling. I'm like, I'm ready, let's do this, and also it's October, and it's a little chilly, so I'm getting a little cold outside, but we're powering through it.
Yeah. So is it like a typical first date? I know you've had many first dates before.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel the same emotion, or is this like times 10 because there's a show, there's people behind you, in front of you, probably?
Yeah. Well, it's not even just like the cameras are rolling, but there's also people in Times Square that are just watching all of this happen. And that was the weird part about it. It's just like people are looking at you like you're an exhibit in the zoo. Really, the cameras aren't really that big of a deal, but just the fact that like everyone's just like watching all this happen.
My anxiety just listening to this is like,
because Emma, you and I know that it takes 100 milliseconds for someone to tell if they're into somebody. So when you saw her, like, did you feel something, or did you know that she may or may not be the person?
I didn't know what to really feel yet. I'm more of a person that really likes to get to know someone.
Okay.
And I was really curious to know why we were matched.
so are you a little bit more logical than intuitive?
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know your Myers-Briggs?
I'm campaigner. I don't know the actual acronym for it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah. Whatever that is.
I know the first letter. I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
if you
I've
just-
taken it. So.
You're like Google campaigner and it'll tell you like NEFJ or whatever those
Cool.
words are. I don't know.
I get you. So you just kind of like went with the flow. You just kind of, because you weren't sure at first, maybe.
Well, I mean, you go into it thinking like, okay, am I really going to meet the love of my life on a TV show? Like,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah, it makes you like,
I mean, I've gone
little
30 years,
hesitant.
29
Yeah.
years at the time. You know, I'm like, is this really about to happen? Am I really going to put all of my faith and trust into this matchmaker to find me my perfect match? And I told them too, I was like, if you guys really want me, you know, you need to cast someone for me that if you ultimately want us to get married, like you have to listen to what I'm telling you, you know?
Yeah.
did they listen to what you were telling
Not
them?
at all.
Okay.
100% not at all.
Yeah, because she seemed a little alpha. We talked about in this last episode.
I hate that term
Or not
so
alpha,
much.
but
I would be okay with an alpha.
Yeah, she seemed very. I mean, she was a nice person, just maybe just not nice for you, or not a good match for you, basically.
I don't think you guys were compatible at all.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice about
I
it.
know. Well,
No, I'm not.
I will say Jenna and I are friends now, you know,
Okay.
so there's no way for me to trash or anything like
Yeah.
that. Like, but we had this really cool experience together. But in the beginning, I could totally tell she was not feeling me at all. Like 100%, just like she had to quit her job to do the show.
Oh.
Yeah. And
She was like a teacher or something, right?
right,
Yeah.
right. Because the film in the fall, it was supposed to film in the summer.
Oh. Okay.
And then two, like they told us that the date would be like kind of indoor passive. And she's outside, like kind of like in this sleeveless thing. And it's freezing cold outside. So she's already kind of irritated. And then she meets me and I'm like not, I think she's looking for a rock star. I think that she'd be great with, you know, a guy that's got, you know, lots of tattoos and, you know, music aspirations, maybe a little bit of baggage. You know, I think that's Jenna's type. If I were going to matchmake someone with Jenna, that's who I'd be looking for. You know?
Okay.
I think she'd be all about that. But because I'm me and I'm super vanilla, you know, she's just
No,
like,
you're not super vanilla. I'm not agreeing with that.
Don't give yourself a compliment right now.
okay. I feel like I've got a lot going for me.
There you
That's
go.
Yeah.
right.
There you
What's
go.
one thing you got going on for yourself?
Oh, she's being a therapist.
I'm
right
very driven, very goal oriented, and I think that I can bring a lot to the table when it comes to a relationship.
now. There
That's
you go.
right.
Yeah.
Like own it, and at the same time, like
Yeah.
don't bring yourself down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, but you kept going with it, right? Maybe you felt it first, you know.
Right.
But let's and then in your mind, you're like, let's see where this goes, and maybe there'll be something that happens.
So I'm having two thoughts,
Uh-huh.
two big thoughts. One is, okay, is she an actress? Like, am I just being put on the spot right now? Is this
Yeah.
Joe Schmo? Like, do I keep my cool, boiling points? Am I going to win $1 million if I don't blow my lid? Because everything that she's saying and doing is really kind of irritating me in one way or the other.
I was irritated
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah, well, I experienced it. And I just remember thinking, okay, maybe this is all set up. Maybe this isn't real because this is a pilot show. We
Right.
don't
Yeah.
actually know what we're making. We have no idea what's going on.
or they would still have to sell it, right?
Right.
Maybe? Or they did quickly, but
Right.
yeah.
So I don't know if like everyone's just in on this joke and Jenna's in on it too, or like they're trying to get a rise out of me. But for some reason, I feel like, okay, I've clearly been set up. This isn't okay, but maybe I'll just keep going with it. My second thought is, all right, because the producers are like, okay, you need to be like Miss Prince Charming, sweeping her off her feet. And
Oh, so
You know,
that's how they
you.
typecasted you.
right, because I'm
Okay.
supposed to win her over, and that's like the two things that are going on in my mind because I'm trying to stay positive and focused, and
you're also trying to be a rule follower.
Correct. So I'm trying to do what they ask me to do, and I'm also trying to win her over, and also at the same time I'm kind of like, okay, I need to take a step back to reality here and think that, what are we making here? Am I getting punked? Like, what's happening? Is Ashton Kutcher involved?
It sounds like you, like, if not just you, but like everyone in the show in general just has to like be very vulnerable. And that's a little scary.
It is.
Right.
I didn't realize like how vulnerable y'all have to be.
So I think that's where Jen and I had something in common, where we both were very skeptical of the show and both skeptical of each other, because we were so not a match right from the get-go. And at that point, we both did not want to be vulnerable with each other. So
do you think it was like maybe the thought process of like opposites attract?
I don't know. I mean, if they do attract, I don't think that that's healthy for the long term. And I've heard that before, but I'm more of like a peanut butter and peanut butter, you know?
Yeah. So
you don't ever want jelly or honey?
I mean,
or bread.
Yeah.
So okay. Did you guys ever talk about that, like after, like when cameras were not rolling? Like, hey, I don't know.
Yes. So after we had our first disastrous first date,
but it didn't seem that bad on TV.
No, it was much worse in real life.
But I guess when you feel it when you're there yourself. I guess,
I was cringing.
Yes, that scene that you're talking about at the coffee shop where she's like, I feel like you have something to tell me. What are you hiding back? Like, I feel like you're not being real. I feel like we had our first fight.
And it's kind of like, I'm like, did we just have our first fight?
Yeah.
Or first fight? Or like, or is this just like your insecurity right now?
We need to chill because this is the first date. This is the first day of filming a TV show. I don't know what to think yet. And I'm certainly not ready to like have a on camera, sort of banter with you right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to get to know you. And if this is like the attitude and the energy that you're putting out, I mean, of course I'm going to have reservations about, what's to come. So, I mean, I'm definitely thinking, holy crap, what have I got myself into? I need to leave. I need to go back to work. Hopefully my job is still there because I took a big risk by coming out here and doing this. So there's all of those things going on in my mind. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be a joke on national television. It's going to be great.
No, you seem like you kept your cool. You played it right.
I agree.
Yeah.
I tried. Yeah. But, I mean, I think that they were definitely wanting more sparks and more of the
drama.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know. At some point, we were definitely the drama couple out of all four of them.
I think you guys were for sure. So after that first day and you go to your hotel room, I mean, like, what's going through your head? Are you like, oh my gosh, I can't believe
I have to get out. 100%. I was like, I need to leave. You guys need to either replace me or replace her because I cannot get married to this girl. There's no way I'm going to be able to give you guys the show that you want, or at least the show that you pitched to me as like, we're supposed to travel the world, go through all these challenges and, at the end of it, get married. I can barely like be friends with her, let alone, think about a future with her. Yeah. So and that's my reservation. I'm like, this is not going to work. I hope that you guys have alternates on the back, just ready to go. Cause you can film all this all over again tomorrow. Do it without me. Yeah.
What helped you kind of like change your thought process on that? Like what allowed you to choose to stay instead of leave?
I had a really, really good experience with the crew and the producers. We were all really good friends, and they basically. Do
you still talk to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're all friends on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, but they just kind of told me like, look, you committed to this. Like you've already signed up for this. If you back out now, like we're all sort of gonna be without a job for the next couple of months.
No, I don't like that.
They conned you good, dude.
And also like they kind of tried to single shame me a little bit. Like, look, maybe the problem isn't her. Maybe it's like you. I was like, okay, that's a good point. Those
are really good psychological games.
I know. And they also said too, like, you're gonna go to a lot of really cool places and you have a lot of really cool things to come. And that's what I signed up for. Like I wanted to, sort of have this experience and get to know someone and maybe find out things about myself that I didn't know before. And go through this really cool journey.
Did you guys ever like hold hands?
Absolutely not.
I didn't see any of that. Anything close to that.
100% no. Never happened. Never held hands.
Never held hands. No. Never will.
Most of the time we were not in the same room with
each
other.
A cup or something?
No. I mean, like if the cameras weren't rolling, we were probably nowhere near to each other.
Not ever. No. Not now. No. Not ever.
No.
I feel like the tipping point, well, maybe the first date was a tipping point, but was Sedona. Right? You guys were.
Oh, that was our worst moment.
Yeah, that was
far.
like.
Was that the vulnerable part?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I got really annoyed watching that. And so
I got annoyed experiencing it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Nope. I think I'm good.
But it was.
I think I might talk for a very long time, so I'm gonna stay quiet.
Right.
I think the difficulty is like being vulnerable on TV too, like
Right.
And what you say is what did they cut anything out of that?
Oh,
that
yeah.
conversation?
Yeah.
That was longer than it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to be honest, like I in that fight, like I went a little lower than I should have, you know, and Jenna's feelings were definitely hurt. And
are there lower things that we didn't hear about that we maybe should hear about?
Well,
You're so messy.
I guess
right
what you
now,
don't see is that like I'm having a great time on this trip, but it's mostly because of all the people that I'm with.
Right.
And I think that Jenna, the more she sees me having a good time, the more angry she gets because she says like, you're getting to know all these other people, but why don't you want to get to know me? And I'm like, well, you've been not nice to me from day one. So
I mean, okay.
But then they also tell us too, like we're not supposed to talk to each other when the cameras aren't rolling. So it's like a catch-22. Like you're never gonna win.
So maybe she did. I mean, did she really was she really into you? Like after
No, never.
I think it sounds just a little bit more like envy. Like here's this person that I'm supposed to have this one like a cool match with. Here's this person I'm supposed to vibe with, and it's not happening. You know, like when your friend comes over and your mom's like, "Oh, I love you so much," and you're like, "That's not your daughter. I am your daughter."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or son.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty vulnerable time.
It was, and it wasn't supposed to be. None of that was supposed to happen. The whole episode was on spirituality. That episode in Sedona, like we're supposed to have this meeting with a shaman.
You guys want to rock, like
right, have a meditation session,
which is supposed to be like a beautiful moment.
Right.
Yeah, I love mindfulness.
And the next day was supposed to be us going on a date to the crystal shop because Jenna's really into crystals. So I was trying to ask her about her because she brought crystals with her on the trip, but she said she didn't want to talk about them until I was vulnerable first. And I think that was like, okay, well, I guess I'll say something that I'm, a little sensitive about. And she just took it and she was just like, no, not good enough.
Let me get on my soapbox. I don't care anymore. Okay. I know y'all are friends. Let me get on my soapbox.
Right. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not even going to number them. Okay. One, like, if you're going to ask someone to be vulnerable, like, and you've been mean this whole time, like, don't expect someone to be vulnerable. And then if they start opening up, don't say that they're not being vulnerable enough for you. Because that really, like, annoyed me because I felt like you opened up about a lot of things. And then she didn't acknowledge the fact that you opened up. She made it, like, more about her, like, I don't want to share with you if you're not sharing with me. And I'm like, and part of me wanted to be like, who gives a crap? Like, you asked him to open up. He's discomfortable sharing with you. Like, don't expect more. Okay.
That was a good therapy.
That was a therapy.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. I feel like she learned that. I feel like
it was very
again,
cringy.
like this was a learning experience.
Right.
Like Jenna, I feel like Jenna had some growth from that point. Like obviously that was our lowest point, and I learned some things about myself. Like I should not be drinking wine heavily around Jenna.
No, that was funny.
TV.
You just kept like pouring wine into your glass, and I was like, oh yeah, he's going there.
I'm so embarrassed about that. I thought for sure like I was gonna be branded as like this drunk and this alcoholic.
You need to come join our one party, but we won't brand you that at all.
she gave me so much anxiety every time that we were on camera together and having like these deep discussions, and I'm just like, what is Jenna gonna say or do next? I have to get something in.
It felt like she was sort of like putting you up for failure.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like, give me this, and it's kind of like when in grad school we learned it where it was like a kick and like a kick and a hug at the same time. Like, here, let me hug you. Let me give you some love. Oh, you love me? I'm gonna kick you.
Huh.
And I'm gonna give you a hug again. I'm gonna like make it all nice and cozy.
We're gonna
open up. I'm gonna kick you. Like that's exactly what it is.
I remember that part, Emma, where like I think Cale was like, "Oh, we almost finished this bottle of wine," and then she was like, "Oh, I think it's just you," or something like that.
It was true. I had 3 glasses of wine in like the span of 10 minutes.
First of all, like no shame in that,
No
shame.
Well, I mean, I feel like I have like young family members and cousins that sort of look up to me and stuff.
Again, I have lots of younger family members too. I'm coined as that the aunt, the cousin. I'm okay with it.
Right.
I own it. Own it.
Yeah. So I guess the last episode was the whole proposal thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe they might get together, but I didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't see everything. Like even in Hawaii, we're still fighting. Like you don't see another date that we have. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it looks like we're clicking, right?
Yeah,
I'm watching the first time that everyone else is, and I'm like, did I get married on this show? Because it looks like we're going in that direction.
Yeah.
Is that what this is going to be turned into?
Yeah.
But I mean, like everything that you see on TV is what happened, but you just don't see the full story.
Gotcha.
So the next day that we're right back to fighting, and it's terrible.
Oh my gosh.
But it doesn't fit the narrative of the show of us possibly may or may not getting married.
Yeah.
But like even when we're at that final scene where we're at the altar, I'm like asking for a helmet because I think she's gonna hit me.
Oh my god.
I think your storyline is like the opposites attract.
Yeah. Yeah. But they try to
your face right now.
But they tried to make it work. And it didn't work, obviously.
Right. But they kept telling us that we weren't opposites and that on paper we were like completely supposed to be.
Lie.
Yeah. I was. Well, I'm like, show me that paper. I want to see my signature on it.
Me? Yeah. Give me the proof.
Yeah. The matchmaker was like, oh shit, like this is not happening.
Yeah.
But I think other people, one couple got married, right?
On the show, yes.
Yeah, on the show, yeah. And I know we talked about Stephanie.
Yes, Stephanie was here before.
She didn't get married, obviously.
She did not.
Stephanie is so cool.
Yeah. Yes,
I'm sorry. I love Stephanie Johnson. I think she's great. I listen to every podcast she does. I listened to this one that you guys had with her. She's so fun. I'm super excited to see where she goes.
Yeah. She's a mover and shaker.
Yeah, she's here in Dallas with us.
Yeah. Look, everybody just loves Dallas, okay?
Yeah, I love Dallas.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so after all of this, after this experience, I mean, do you recommend people going on like reality shows or like what? Should they?
Yeah, sure. I mean, why not? And here's the thing too. I actually had two good buddies that I've known that have done reality television before. Okay. So that was also kind of like, okay, well, if they can do it, I can kind of do it too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Anything you learned like from the show about yourself maybe or about dating in general?
From the show? I definitely learned something in that night at Sedona where I definitely went overboard. Like that was definitely my worst moment where I'm not proud of that moment at all.
Okay.
I definitely said some things that probably hurt Jenna. But I also know that Jenna kind of wanted to fight with me the whole time.
It seemed like it. She was like just poking you.
She was dying to have a camera fight with me.
She poked the bear, and the bear finally growled.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
You know what? Like, let's do this.
Gotcha.
It's 8 days in. Like, let's just hash it out.
And then there's a point where you can't take anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So I sometimes I wonder like if I had not had that release or whatever, and I just would have kept my cool. I wonder what the show would have been like after that day because it was still awkward, in Denver and in Vegas and in Seattle because we're still sort of reeling from what happened in Sedona.
I think you guys should have just kissed and just see where it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, just try it. See what happens.
She definitely would have. And also just like mind you, like all the things that are happening in the news at the time. It's the Me Too movement, like the Harvey Weinstein's coming out, and like there was just it was just a very weird time. And I was like, I'm not gonna make a move on TV when I know that she definitely is not giving me any kind of signals.
Oh, she might deny you, and that's
100%. Like she did not. No. Like I was like, this is not going to be okay. Yeah. I'm gonna, if I
she'll
even
give you
try
the Heisman, like
seriously. If I even try anything, it's gonna be look like I'm a huge asshole and like I'm, a womanizer and all these things. So I was like, I'm just gonna, sit back and if she does sort of open up to me and is receptive to the whatever energy I'm putting out there, then we'll see what happens. But we never had that moment, never.
Yeah, I see. So
but I mean, we are friends now. So,
that's good.
And I mean, I'll catch up with her every now and then. Like I follow her on Instagram, see what she's up to, and hopefully we'll meet up someday and laugh about the whole experience. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, yeah. Was there like a goodbye party or something like that? Did you guys like do something?
We had. So after Jen and I were done filming, we were the first ones to do our little ceremony. Later that night, we were at the hotel and, we got to hang out with some producers and whatnot. And that was the first time I got to meet some of the other couples, but not by name or anything.
Did
But
you
I
meet
got to see
Stephanie there?
them.
Or
I met the other Stephanie, sort of. She
with the taller, the real tall guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Stephanie and Ryan. So Stephanie from Long Island.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So Stephanie and Ryan filmed the same day that we did, and then Mike and Alma and Stephanie and other Michael, they filmed the next day.
Yeah.
So I did get to sort of get a flavor of what happened there, because they put me in a room while they were filming, and it had all these monitors, and I got to see, Stephanie from Long Island walk out, and she's just like dressed to the nines, super excited about her wedding day, and you could just like see she's just like loving
I thought
it.
that was gonna happen.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna happen.
Right, and then you see Ryan come out of his car, and he just looks like a ghost. Like he's just like, and like no one knows that I'm in this room with these production assistants, and we're just like watching this, and we're like, oh, this is gonna be good TV, because he does not look like he's getting married today, and she totally expects it.
Oh, wow.
And then later at that hotel that night, like Stephanie is crying hysterically, and I'm just like, I know she did not get married. Like there's no way. But of course,
this is why I think I would get married at first sight if my mom and sister matched me up.
That's an interesting show as well. Do you watch that show, Married at First Sight?
No, but I did watch Meet the Patels.
Yeah, it's the same production company that filmed my show, and it's different. I don't think that I would be able to do that, especially after my experience with Jenna, meeting someone for the first time and then being asked to get married.
What if it was Jenna that they matched you up with and you had to marry
again?
her? I mean,
see, that's why I could never do that show, because I'm just like.
I'm not saying I would do a married at first sight. Like it has to be my parents and my mom like doing it, like an arranged marriage.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it is interesting watching that show, because it came on before my show when it was filming. So I did get it was the Boston season, and it was very different watching them and watching their issues, and like they had real fights and real things about like couples trying to make a marriage work, whereas like my show, Jen and I were just like, all right, we got to do this thing, and then we're gonna go do this thing over here, and then see you later. But
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to see all that behind the scenes, and you saw her after.
Yeah.
So. I remember that there's an episode they were in Vegas or something, and she was just getting crazy.
Yeah, and she has an interesting story about that too. Her and Ryan had been fighting, and I talked to all of them. Well, I talked to both Stephanies for sure. Stephanie Varek is her name, from Long Island, and like that was their date was to go to that Magic Mike event. And
I'm totally down for that.
And of course, they're the couple that's actually working and making the most of it. And they're like the ones everyone's expecting to get married at the end, because they're vibing and they're connecting well. And of course, they're being put in situations that are supposed to cause controversy, because the whole premise of the show is that, you're supposed to travel the world and have these experiences, and you're on like this crash course to like, are you going to be able to make it?
Right.
So here you go. Here's a conflict. Stephanie's being sort of flirty with guys that are giving her lap dances. Yeah. But they're also dancers in their craft. And of course you've got cameras that are like focused on them in their private suite. And of course all these guys want to be on camera too.
Yeah.
So like you have to factor all of that in. And I don't know. I think I'm going to be Team Stephanie on this one. I know that everyone's like, why don't you see Ryan's side? I see it. I get it. But like, I also know what it's like to be on a show where all this is sort of being set up, Yeah. So I just think that Ryan took the bait, hook, line, and sinker, and then he was just like, you know what, I could never date a girl that does those things and is disrespectful to me and all that.
Okay, so I won't pull like the male-female card, but that's crap. Like this is like a double standard, because if a guy were to go to a female strip club and watch like boobs like bouncing around, like the woman would have to be okay with it, and it's like, no, I'm a woman. If I want to go see men strip and do like a Magic Mike thing, and you want to go see female strip, or women strip, like it's the same thing. Are you going home with him at the end of the night? No. Am I going out, or am I going home with him at the end of the night? No. It's not a big deal.
Right.
It's just foreplay for me to come home to you.
And I don't see
get it together.
Why Ryan didn't see it that way, because obviously Stephanie's not hooking up with these guys.
Right.
She's already like demonstrated that she's, willing to fall in love with this guy.
I feel like they were hooking up by what I saw on the show. Who knows? I don't know.
That's something you have to ask her. I don't know.
But
it made for good TV.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
So what do you have to from all this whole experience? I swear, Cale, I can talk to you about this for like 5 hours.
Oh, we could forever.
Wrap it up. Like, what was your lesson learned from this whole experience?
From love at first flight?
Yeah.
Keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Because people will surprise you. I will say that Jenna did redeem herself at the end. Like we have established a friendship, and I did learn a lot from her. And learning to at least get along with her and her personality type. And I think that she learned a lot from me too. We kind of rubbed off on each other a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that anyone that you meet in this world, you can learn something from them. So always keep an open mind and always be willing to, try to connect with people.
There you go.
That's beautiful, Cale.
Thanks.
Well, thanks for telling us the whole story. I mean,
sure.
We got a lot of good stuff from that.
I love gossiping. I love gossiping with men.
Okay, and that's great. We have Cale here because he did go on a first date on the show.
That was not the greatest first date.
Not the greatest first date, but we want to address the question: how do you know if the first date is going well? And so I've had a lot of first dates that have gone shitty. So, Emma, let's start with you. Like, what do you think?
Okay.
What are your points here?
Okay, so my point goes along with the story.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the first blind date that I was ever set up on.
Okay.
And so I was like really excited about kind of like one, like a new experience, and two, possibly like meeting someone that I was compatible with. So like on the date, he was like, his body language, like he was sitting and he was like facing me, like forward. He was smiling. He was laughing and joking with me. So it was really well. Like we actually had a really good conversation, and I'm bilingual, right?
Okay.
And so part of a conversation, which was really
Pig Latin?
Spanish.
Okay, go ahead.
Why do I get the noise when you did something dumb? Why do I get it?
I thought it was appropriate. 2 points for Zorric.
Okay.
Good work.
Okay. Body language.
Anyways, and so like the conversation was really cool because like we were able to like talk in Spanish. So that was kind of a fun plus for me. Mm-hmm. You better not touch that
I was
button.
going to play my tango music, but go ahead.
You better not.
Okay.
So then he walked me back to my car, which was, I felt like, another plus. And of course, like we did like no, let me pay for mine. No, I'll pay for all of it. And I was like, thank you. Uh-huh. Right, we did the dance. He walked me back to my car. Never called me again.
Oh, wait a second.
I really thought this date was going well because of like all like my checklist was like check. Nope.
Oh.
I know. It's all good.
But it's good.
He met all my requirements too.
Did you follow up with him though? Did you think, hey, I had a great time with you that night, and I hope to see you sometime in the future?
Yes.
What did he say?
Me too. Thanks. Yeah, let's do this again.
Well, hey, I think it's an even playing field. So if you want to set up a date for a second date, like, did he set up the first one? Maybe you should set up the second one.
No, it was a blind date, so our friend did it.
Okay.
Do not call me out.
Wait, did he kiss you?
No, we didn't kiss.
Okay.
But I don't kiss on the first date. You know that.
But you felt like it was a good date. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, she talks about this all the time. She's like the third date, right? Or second date?
Yeah, second or third. I'm a prude.
Yeah, so am I. So you didn't feel anything else, but you felt it was good.
Yeah, I mean, my anxiety was more than like normal, but I mean, it's typical because it was my first blind date ever.
Okay.
I didn't know what to expect.
Gotcha.
We even went to I picked the restaurant because because honestly, like we didn't have any conversations outside of my friend. Like, our friend had our numbers and she was kind of like, we would text her and then she would text him and then vice versa until we actually met. And then we did exchange numbers and then nothing ever came up from it.
Okay. But you're saying it's a good date if he offers to pay.
Yeah, and I think it's like he's laughing at my jokes. I think that's great. If I'm laughing at his jokes, great.
And then you guys are bilingual.
Yeah, and if it's not awkward conversation, I think it's great too.
Gotcha.
If you're like actually like leaning towards me versus like sitting in the back of your chair, I think that's good too.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you have your first date requirements, Zorric, or
I
how
do.
you know a date's going well?
I do, and then we'll go to Cale.
Yeah.
But I have a lot. But one thing is, so I was on a date.
Last week?
Not last week, guys. Come on.
Yesterday?
I was on a date, and she chose to sit facing the TV. So it's like she's facing the TV, and I'm facing her. And so basically, everyone behind, there's like action behind me. There's like the entrance.
Okay, what's on TV?
So she put your back towards the door.
So I'm
I don't
facing
like
her.
that.
I want to know what's on TV though. Is it
was
something
like
important?
it was like sports or something, bloopers or whatever.
Oh.
But my first point is, I feel like it's going well when she's engaged and looking at me and talking to me. She was not. She was looking at the TV. Mm-hmm. And the good times.
Like Cale's looking at his phone right now.
The good.
I had engaged on one of my lists, so I'm going to take it off right now.
No, but you probably have a good perspective.
No, it's okay. You can repeat them. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like I'm in a great date when someone's engaged, talking to me, listening to me, and like visually looking at me, like in the eye. Right. And then the second is, again, body language. Mm-hmm. So when someone is facing you and like maybe moving forward and their arms aren't crossed.
He was just moving forward towards me, just FYI.
and they're not like sitting back.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Then that means that they want to hear more from you and listen to what you have to say. Also, asking questions. That's,
Yes, but here's my little caveat on it is that I try not to ask too many questions because like the moment that people find out I'm a therapist, they're like, you're a therapist, you're analyzing me. So I'm like, nope. Mm-mm.
That's different.
Not asking any questions.
But I also like that too, the fact that like you have a job and it seems like it's pretty stable and it sounds like you're bringing in your own money. So to me, I think that's an attractive quality.
Just don't ask me, are you analyzing me? Like, that's a pet peeve of mine.
But I think that's also hilarious, so you can expect it.
No, I hate it so much.
If people aren't hitting that point, then
that's a joke.
They don't understand what you really do.
I roll my eyes. I'm like, no, please don't mention this again.
Yeah.
Don't.
So usually after dinner, we go have drinks somewhere. And usually if they're okay with that, then that's a good sign. Right?
Oh.
So, we've had dinner for like a couple hours and then now we're going to some bar and that means she wants to spend more time with me. So I feel like it's going well. And my last point is
But you know my rule, right? My little rule is like 2 drinks max, maybe 3.
But she can drink water. I mean, she can just hang.
Oh, okay.
We can talk.
All right. I'll allow it.
Yeah. So, and my last 2 points are like touching. Just grazing someone's arm, or maybe she like touches my arm just to get my attention or something like that. That's one, and the other one is kissing.
So you do kiss on a first date?
He does.
But it doesn't always work out. But anyways.
Hence why we're still single.
Yes.
Yay!
So yeah.
I don't think that anyone should ever be ashamed to be single.
I don't think so either.
I rail against that so hard. I think that like
either.
You have a lot to bring to the table, and you're just not willing to settle for some schmuck. And just I'm totally like for bringing the energy to the single life and being proud of it and owning it and being excited to go on dates because you get the opportunity to do that.
Exactly. I don't believe in settling. I don't settle in any other aspect of my life. I'm not going to do it in a relationship.
Right.
So I feel like no one should ever be shamed for being single and staying single for as long as they need to.
Did you feel that was a little shaming right now?
A little bit. Just a little bit. I was like, we're all still single. I'm like, I mean, it's a little bit by choice because like we all seem to be pretty successful people in our own right. So we have a lot to bring to the table, and we're just.
Thank you for calling me out, Cale. I appreciate it. Do you need some more wine?
I'm looking a little low. So that's my big thing for sure. Like, no one should ever feel like they are less than a person just because they're not in a committed relationship.
I agree.
Yeah. Cale.
Yes.
Close it out. So what are your
Fill his wine while he's talking too.
Well, you told me the topic, and I thought I kind of laughed to myself because I'm like arguably one half of the worst first date documented in America.
So yeah.
I think the more appropriate, the way I was thinking about this was I could probably tell you when something is going horribly wrong on a first date. I could tell you a lot about that, but I just kind of worked backwards from the inverse of that. So things that I thought about were Is the conversation fluid, not forced?
Right.
It'd be pretty general.
So like if there's no just dead silence and you're not like working so hard to like get something out of somebody, right?
Right.
That's rough. I hate that.
It's very rough.
Yeah.
Your date has to show a genuine interest in you by asking you questions, and also wants to be receptive to the questions that you ask and is comfortable sharing that information with you. I think that's when you know a date's going well, and that all kind of fits under the umbrella of having a conversation that's fluid. Let's see. And then I think that whenever you do have those conversations, you try to find some common ground and then maybe sort of shared experiences or shared interests. And that would kind of establish, okay, if we have this in common, maybe this can be our foundation for something more to come in the future. So, and it's also kind of like in your mind, you're mentally checking boxes. Okay. So like, I'm a CrossFit person, so if like I'm dating someone that's like into CrossFit, like that's a big check mark for me. Like, yay, awesome.
I'm scared of I'm scared of it. I won't deny it. I'm scared of it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Scary.
I don't blame you. I mean, it's more about the community than anything. But
yes, that's what I hear.
Yeah,
really, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
But I'm still scared of it. Like, I don't want someone depending on my fitness. I'd rather I just have a personal trainer. Like, can I just keep my personal trainer instead?
Yeah. Totally.
Okay.
I mean, anything that you can find common ground with, that's fine. That's just where my background is. So.
I'll go hiking. I'll go to Summit with you.
Yeah. There you go. I love hiking or, anything outdoorsy. So those things would be shared interests, common ground. Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you want to, schedule a date, you can just do a CrossFit date or something physical.
Right. And then that also kind of leads into planning what your next date would be. And that's how you also know if first date's going well. Like you're already talking about things that you'd want to do in the future.
Good point.
Because, like, oh, this is really something that I'm into and you're into it too. Let's do it together. And that's really what life is all about. You get to share your life with someone else. And I think that's what, in the ideal world that you're looking for, is you're looking for someone that you can share your life with.
Did Jenna like CrossFit?
Absolutely not. No, and I tried to hide that fact about myself for so long, but they finally brought it out. And as soon as they did, she gave me so much help for it for so long. I was like, guys, did you have to tell her that I do CrossFit?
Yes.
Did you have to? Did you have to really?
Yes.
Emma, every scene with Cale, he's like running around. He's like jogging or like doing something. So I mean, how do they not know, or she not know?
I don't know.
However, like when I'm on vacation, like I'm the person that goes.
Yeah.
I don't believe in napping on vacation.
Oh no, no sleep on vacation.
No, like you sleep at night and you sleep for the minimal or the maximum of 7 hours, and then you're up at the crack of dawn so that you can do the next thing.
Absolutely, I agree.
I have itineraries when I travel.
You and I are kindred spirits on that, Emma.
I know.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I got things to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure. So
I'm not gonna waste my time on vacation.
So those, do you have any more? Or you?
Let's see.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Yeah. I think body language, good eye contact, engaged conversation, positive feedback. And I think that that's like kind of like the body language stuff. Like if you say something witty or charming, and like she's receptive to laughing at that. You could see that on my first date with Jenna. I think that I'm funny, and she's just like rolling her eyes. She's like not into it at all. And I'm like, oh man, I'm still not winning her over.
Are you being like punny or are you being funny? There's a difference.
I can do both.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like funny, not
He's
funny.
Mr. America.
You're not a puns person?
I do it for Zorric's sake. That's about it. I hate puns. Well, like I have a love-hate relationship with them.
With me or with puns?
With puns. I also have a love-hate relationship with Zorric.
Of course.
Yeah.
What else, Cale?
Just being comfortable, just signs that you're being comfortable with someone. Body language fits into that, and just laughing, having a good time, because that's what it's all about. You have the opportunity to share a life experience with someone else on a date, whether it be a dinner, whether it be a drink, movie, activity. My first date was with Jenna was eating weird things like bugs.
But that's an experience, right?
Right. So if you embrace that opportunity that you get, that not everyone else gets to do, and you get to have this life experience with someone, you should appreciate it.
Did you have hot sauce on the bugs?
I'm sure there was hot sauce available. It doesn't really strike me at the time, but you should check them out. The cricket tacos.
Yeah, I have friends that do it.
Yeah,
I have friends that eat cricket tacos, and
you ate it.
I'm Hispanic, so like I eat a lot of the animal. Like I eat the intestine, I eat the tongue. I'm like, when we like cook fish, like we eat the eye. Like like I'm all into it. But then you get a bug in front of me, and I'm like, Nope.
It didn't really have a taste. It was
just crunchy?
It was cooked. Yeah, you couldn't even tell it was a bug. I'm sure there were like little bug legs in my teeth and whatever, but it's fine. If that was the worst thing that happened on that date, I think I would have been great.
And it wasn't.
No, absolutely not. That was the farthest thing from my mind, whether I had
my gosh,
the bugs in my teeth.
So what do you have, Emma, for any other closing thoughts about this question here?
This was a lot of fun. I kind of didn't like that Cale took your side on a lot of things because this has never happened before.
Never.
Emma, you're gonna have to invite me back so I can take your side next time.
Okay, do you pinky promise?
I would be back and I would take your side next time.
Okay,
for sure.
I'm gonna like vouch for you by giving you a gift next time. Because that is my love language, even though you called me shallow before the show.
Okay, those are words in my mouth. I just think that if your love language is gifts, then it seems a little shallow. I wasn't calling you shallow directly.
You were saying that it seems a little shallow. Okay.
It does. I mean, out of all the other things that are a little more virtuous, like quality time or physical touch, or
I'm sorry. How is giving gifts not virtuous? How is like me spending my money on you and like doing something? Because the thing is about gifts is that it doesn't mean you have to buy it. That's the thing. That's the misconception.
Right.
Is that like I'm a knitter and I crochet. So like if you really wanted like a Gryffindor scarf, like I could make that for you, and that's the gift, and I'm presenting it to you to show my labor of love.
And I appreciate that.
Not shallow.
I appreciate that at that extent. Like you've thought about a gift, but at the same time, I'm also thinking like I don't really value materials like that. So I'm like, that's just not what I do. That's just where
Some of us values different things, and it's not right or wrong. It just is.
I'm just more about quality time. I want to have really cool experiences and have great memories. So that's where my love language is.
Okay.
All right.
But we can meet in the middle and have like tickets to do something fun. That's
boom,
like
done.
There you go.
There you go. For me, I think.
Oh right, yeah, you're.
Oh yeah, Zorric's here too, guys.
Yeah, I am here. But
I forgot about you.
But I feel like that there's a lot of tells when there's a good first date.
But then it can also be misleading, obviously, by my story.
A lot of smiles are good. So that's it. That's all I have. But I have a couple of questions for Cale. Oh my gosh, we're going to keep Cale here for like
forever.
A minute.
Let's do it. I love questions.
So
can he come back next week too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every week. So Cale.
Okay.
What's happening today? Are you dating? Are you?
I am super single.
I have like so many questions for.
I am super single right now.
Okay.
No. After the show, we weren't allowed to date anybody, or if we were, just
really
post on the internet. Yeah, well, because we had to leave the illusion of, are you married? And
it's sort of like the Bachelor, Bachelorette, right? When you're like not allowed to date until like the show airs.
Right.
Yeah. Like
I don't
you can't
think
even
anyone
see
was,
each other.
Yeah, no one was really too concerned about me and Jen after the first episode. So it really wasn't that hard. No one was like scrutinizing what I posted or anything, But I don't think that I was allowed to date anybody until like May or so.
Whoa.
And then,
Of this year.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So are you on Bumble?
You guys are going to hate me, but I don't do the dating apps right now, but I've done them before. I did them, and I used them for the worst possible reasons. When I first moved to Dallas in 2015, I had Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Coffee Meets Bagel, the whole shebang. I got them all.
Meet friends.
Yeah, and it's mostly just like kind of figure out who's in Dallas, who's somebody that I'd be willing to hang out with, and then they also show you like mutual friends that you have on Facebook too sometimes. So it's like, oh my gosh, we have so many mutual friends. Like I did definitely swipe this person and find out what they do and what's going on with them. And then a lot of the times, like the matches that I had, I probably didn't pursue, and it just I don't know. I do better in like face-to-face interactions and going out and meeting people. That seems to be more of like what I focus in on, because that's where I make my priorities. Like when it's just like strangers on a phone that text me things, I don't know. Like I don't have time for this. I don't have time to invest in you.
Yeah, social interactions. It's a little bit more meaningful too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're right in front of me and I can kind of like gauge how you are in this kind of setting or how you're interacting with me when face to face, I do a lot better with that. But with strangers on the internet, I don't know. I'm just not good at it. I'm open to do it again, but just right now, I just don't see that as a priority.
Gotcha. So when was your last date?
Why are you so nosy?
I'm just
No, I'm joking.
I'm gonna say.
I'm asking for Emma.
I'm gonna say June.
June. Okay.
Yeah, it was like mid-June.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really do a lot of dating in July.
Yeah.
There was just a lot going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fine. I mean, it wasn't anything serious. It was just get to know somebody and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go through your checklist of like, is this going well? Does she like?
Well, it wasn't a
CrossFit?
blind date. It was just somebody that I had known before. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
But yeah, I mean, I'm down to meet new people on blind dates. I mean, obviously, I did it on national TV, so sure,
Yeah.
Obviously, I am too.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, but I really like having a good network here in Dallas and always having events to go to and people to see, whether it's birthdays or something to celebrate, happy hours and whatnot, meeting up with people and then getting to know their friends, and that seems to be the arena that I usually fare well with whenever it comes to meeting new people.
Yeah. Did you know that the biggest predictor of success is how extrovert? I'm on this extrovert thing, but how big their network is. It's not their IQ.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
What does it mean if your social network or your network is like mostly therapists? What does that mean?
I don't know. You know what I did hear? I heard attorneys are more pessimistic.
Probably.
Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that the legal profession has made me a little jaded, for sure. And especially, like you have a lot to offer and you've got a lot that you've invested in yourself, like time. And, I've got student loans to pay back, so I'm kind of focused on that. But like when you start thinking about the future and sharing, your life with someone and possibly investing in them and, like what all that's going to turn into and what if it goes disastrously, like that stuff scares me, it certainly does. Like I see a lot of bad things happen all the time. So it's hard to put your trust in someone.
Right.
And especially now, like after being so old and not so old, but like having enough life.
You're younger than us, okay? So shut your mouth.
Having the life experience and the people that I've known and I've seen go through life where they've had, marriages that haven't been successful and it's kind of, set them back years and whatever. Like it definitely, gives you that sense of extra guardedness in the future. So I think that's definitely something that people that are dating that are, a little older should be cognizant of, that they need to like be more letting their guard down, but also protective of, everything that they built for themselves.
Yeah.
For sure. So Cale, how can everyone find you?
I am on the internet.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. I'm on the social media, you guys. I have an Instagram and a Twitter handle that I promote. I have a Facebook too, but I don't, add people that I haven't met in real life. My Instagram handle is CP O'Brien, Obryan, and my Twitter handle is the same thing, CP Obryan.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can find me there. I'm a lot more active on Instagram than I am Twitter, but I don't know. I do read Twitter, but I don't have time to think about witty things to tweet in my regular life because I'm working. I don't.
Zorric handles the wittiness for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
So Emma, what did we learn from Cale today?
I learned a lot of things from Cale.
What do we learn? Like, what's the number one thing?
I learned that being vulnerable isn't fun.
There you go.
With the wrong person. Right?
Learn from my mistake, yes.
What else did you learn from Cale?
I also learned that he hates Game of Thrones.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. That's not true. That's not true.
He hates Game of Thrones but loves Harry Potter, so I will allow that.
Okay. Redemption.
Yeah, that's what I learned.
Okay. All right. Well, I learned a lot about the whole matchmaking process.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Very interesting. I learned that Cale can tell right away. You can tell right away when stuff's not going to mesh, right? When you're not going to be compatible with somebody, right?
Mm-hmm. I think you and I are just hopeless romantics.
Yeah.
You guys are. You got to have some more fun.
Yeah.
I think, and that's the thing that I think most pitfalls are when it comes to dating. It's just that you have to go in there with the expectation of this is just one date. Let's make the most of it. Don't think about, what if these people are checking boxes for you. You can think about those things later. Just enjoy the moment for what it is and appreciate having good company and doing, a fun activity or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So we need to stop being hopeless romantics.
We need to stop.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, we can keep Cale here for like
I know,
another 5 hours. I swear.
Best podcast ever, you guys.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
I will say that you guys have great podcasts. I've listened to them, and I think that you guys are really fun. And I'm excited for what's to come. Cool. Congratulations on your 40th podcast.
We're 40.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I never thought I'd hear those words.
I know. I know, right?
You guys got to get to 100. I think you'll get there. I think you'll get there in no time.
Thank you, Cale. It just makes me feel really old.
Nice.
All right, everyone. So that's our show for today. I swear we can go for longer.
Yeah.
But we'll wait till next time. You can find us on @DavePodcast on Instagram and Twitter. If you have any questions or comments or anything you want to ask us or Cale or anybody, hit us up at hello@davepodcast.com. And that's our show. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.